Welcome back to Same Right Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. And in today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful patterned gown you are seeing right there on the thumbnail. So this is actually a patterned gown and it looks so beautiful. So we are making this gown. You can see this gown has an organza and Ankara combined to it together. So to achieve this, I will show you the easiest way to go about this. The very easiest way to go about this is first. This is a simple 180 degrees flake cutting. It's actually 180 degrees flake cut. But because it's patterned, it looks as if it's difficult to achieve. But that is not difficult to achieve at all. So this is what you are going to do. You are going to get yourself a lining. You are going to make use of just any fabric. I call it a lining because it's not the actual fabric we are going to use. You can get a cotton lining for the cutting of this particular flake, or if you don't want to use a lining, you can join your pepper. The reason I said use a lining is because some lining come by length of 60 degrees. Okay, that is 60 inches, sorry. So if you are going to the market, normally Ankara comes in 45 inches. Some other fabric comes mostly at 60. So you can get a lining that comes at 60. Once you have gotten 60 degrees length of any fabric you want to use as a pattern for this particular skirt, the next thing you want to do is to start the calculation of your dimension of fabric. So the dimension of fabric D is equal to length of flake plus radius times 2 multiplied by 2. So that is what we are going to use to achieve this. So the dimension of fabric, the length of fabric right now, what length are we talking about here? We are talking about the length of this flake from your waist to the floor level. So from the waist to the floor level, for so many people, 45 inches goes for it. What I mean is from your waist level, because from your shoulder to floor level for so many people is within 60 to 61. If you are short, 58 inches. That is shoulder to floor level. Okay, so if you have shoulder to floor level of 61 for an example, then you have a front length of or half length of 17. Simply do 61 minus 17 and whatever thing you have here. So if I'm doing 61 minus 17 here, I'll be left about at about 40. Let's say 45 or 46 inches. Okay, so I'll just pretend making use of 46 inches right there, because just do the calculation. Okay, floor level minus 17, or if your half length is 16 or 14, you can just take your measurements. You can even take your measurement from the waist to the floor level. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I will make use of 45. This is just an example. Okay, so I make use of 45. What is my radius? My radius is my waist circumference. The waist circumference I'm using, if my waist circumference is 36 plus 2 inches zipper allowance, I'm dividing by 3.14 because we are working on 180 degrees flake. So 38 divided by 3.14. Okay, I will have you can just do the calculation anyway, but here I'm having about 3 into this to about 12 point, let me say 12.5, but just make sure you do the calculation. So if my radius is 12.5 now, if I substitute into this dimension of fabric, DL will give us 45, which is the length of your flake, plus the radius we just calculated, which is, let me just call it 13. So dimension of fabric, this is times 2. So 45 plus 13 will give us 58. Okay, 58 times 2 will give us 2 times 8 is 16. 6 carry 1. 2 times 5, 10 plus 1, 11. You have 116 inches yardage. So a yard is 36 inches. Okay, so if a yard is 36, 116 will give us 116 divided by 36. So how many 36 will you get in this 116? It means you'll be working for this full flay from your waistline. 36 by 2 is 72. Okay. Okay. 72. Another 36, which is 72 plus this, will give us 72, and 36 will give us 108. That is 3 yards. 3 yards will give us 108. So remaining 8 yards. So let's say 3 yards. That is what you are going to use for the whole of 180 degrees flay cutting from waist to floor level. So the whole of lining you are going to get yourself, the whole lining fabric you are going to get yourself will be 3 yards by 60 inches. I will pretend this paper I have here is my 3 yards. This is the yardage. Okay, if you go to the market, they will tell you, and you will tell them you want to buy 3 yards. Okay, I'm buying 3 yards of lining by 60. This is by 60, and from here I will measure. They will measure for you 36, 36, 36, 36. So this part now is my 3 yards. Okay, I'm using this paper to as my lining, which I have purchased from the market. So I come back and I fold my lining, the lining into 2. That is how to cut your 360, sorry, your 180 degrees. Once you have cut your, fold your paper, your lining into 2 equal parts. Remember, it's 3 yards. Automatically it becomes what? 1.5 yards, because you have folded it into 2. So if you fold 3 yards into 2, you have, this side will be 1.5 yards. 1.5 yards once you have folded. So remember that 1.5 yards is 36 plus 18. And 36 yards is a yard, half is 18. So you have 36 plus 18, which is what? You have a 454. Okay, 54 inches. Out of these 54 inches, we have our length of fabric as 45, and our radius as 12. So 45 plus 12. I'm just trying to break this thing down so you'll be able to understand. So 5 plus 2 now is 7. 4 plus 1. So we have just a shortage of 3 inches, and it's not too much. If you are fortunate to have or you can get, if you actually want this to fall into place completely, you can get yourself 3 yards and a quarter. There will surely be excess. Okay, so what you have here is just 3. Yeah, we have 57 inches we are working with, and we, when folded, we have 54. So 3 inches can be neglected, or if you want, you can do it 3.5 yards and measure appropriately. But I believe this explanation is understandable. So once I have folded it now, okay, that is my lining has been folded. Next I will go to the folded part. This is the folded part. I'll mark out my radius. I'm marking out my radius, and I'll pretend my radius is at this point. That is the 12 inches. Remember, this is a paper explanation. So this is it. And I'll just go ahead and do what? And cut out my radius. So what I have from here to here is my radius, which we calculated as 12 inches. Now I'm going to calculate my length. which is 45. Okay, so what I'm working here now is 45. So the length I got here now, I'm using the length I have here as my 45. That is if you are cutting your 180 degrees flay, this is how you keep cutting, marking it. You keep marking it. You keep marking it. So once you have marked, you are going to use your chalk on your fabric and do what? And mark out. So I'll just go ahead. So if you don't want to use lining to make this pattern, you can equally use pepper. All you need to do is you have to join so many peppers. So it's better you get yourself a lining of maybe a yard, 200 naira, just very light inferior lining, or I don't know how much it costs nowadays, but just go to the market. Any cheap fabric of 3 yards will do this flay for you. So I've already cut, taking the full, this is the full measurement of the skirt, which you are seeing right here. So we are going to divide this skirt according to how we want to pattern it from the radius. So this is it, and I'm going to choose from here is 45. Okay, the full length is 45. So we can do if we do 15 inches, it means we are making it equal. But what I'm seeing right there on the thumbnail is not equal. The first segment is 20 inches. I'll mark it here. So I'm going to mark the first segment at 20 inches. 20 inches. 20 inches. 20 inches. So once I've marked my 20 inches, I'll just use my chalk this way on my lining, and that is the first segment Ankara. Then the second segment Ankara, now we've taken 20 inches out of 45, we'll be having 25. So I might decide to take what I have in the second segment. I might decide to have it at let me say 13 inches. 13 inches. Okay, 13 inches. 13 inches. That is what we have on the organza part. So it's all your choice to know how you want to pattern your flay. Okay, so this is my organza. All right, so once you've gotten the organza, then the rest, remember organza we had 25 left. So now organza has taken 13. How many will remain for the rest of the Ankara? 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 minus this is 1. That is 12. Okay, so that makes it equal. So we can do 10 inches for organza and the rest 15. So from here to here will be the Ankara. Okay, so we can do smaller one. Just you'll be the one to pattern it yourself. Okay, so calculate it according to how you want it to lay, but at least you have an idea of what we are doing here. So this is your lining fabric now. So this lining fabric now, cut off the radius. I'll take it away, I don't need it. I'll come to the Ankara, first Ankara. That is the first segment I'll cut. Second segment I'll cut. So right here on my lining pattern, you can see I have 3 sections now. So what am I going to do? I will name this up, I'll name this down for the Ankara first segment, up and down for the organza first segment, up and down for the next Ankara last segment, and that is that for you. So you just go ahead, get your fabric. At least you have an idea of how many yards you are going to use now. So that means since we have 3 yards here, although it does not actually work like that, so if you can also get 3 yards of Ankara as well, okay, you can also place 3 yards of Ankara. You can also although Ankara comes in 45, so I don't know if it will be enough. Okay, it might not really be enough because the full length we got was 57. So what you do is just get your Ankara, you know, place it. You pick up this one. You can just open it up on the Ankara fabric. You can see that is the first segment. You add your seam allowance of 0.5 inch. You get your organza. You place the part of the organza. Add your 0.5 inch seam allowance to join this and this. Add again on this. So you just open this. If I'm doing this work, I'll just simply either open or fold. You can achieve this by folding and placing on top of the fabric, but when you are folding, make sure you fold it exactly the way we folded this paper. Okay, you can place your fabric. Let me say, for example, I'm making use of this fabric now as my Ankara. So, but the whole dress will take 3 yards. So, but because of the flay, the way you are going to place your flay, so you might just go ahead and get your fabric. I folded my fabric and I'll place this folded part, and I think it's easier. So once I place and pin, I'll just go ahead and do what? And cut. So I'm going to just add my 0.5 inch. So here I've already added my zipper allowance, so please don't add anything on the zipper part. On this, I'll just add 0.5 to stitch the organza to the Ankara. This is actually a very nice gown, and I think I like the gown. So this is how you keep cutting everything. You keep cutting everything. You keep cutting everything. You keep cutting. You can see how I demonstrated the cutting. You keep cutting. So if you want, you can use paper. If you want, you can use fake lining for it. So at the end of the day, you join everything together. Find the midpoint and attach on the upper bodies. And this will be the center back. This will be the center front. So if you look at that, you can see that we have the zipper only at the back. So it's 180 degrees cutting with 3 yards of fake lining. Okay, so meaning that this organza will be less than about 1 or 1.5. Okay, so once you fold it, place the pattern you have there, you actually know how much it's going to take. Then later, the last section will be carrying a crinoline, as you can see. So the crinoline on the hem, that was what gave it that beautiful flay effect. So thank you very much for coming to this tutorial, and I believe you learned a lot from this explanation. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming. See you in the next class. Bye.